Welcome back, everybody, to our second series of the day, and the final one for us here on Epicenter EN2. It is the Epicenter Major, and we've got the Ninjas in Pajamas squad taking on PSG LGD in the decider match. Winner of this goes up a bracket, loser goes lower bracket in this beautiful little group stage. I'm Gareth, joined by D Swordfish on the mic, and we've got a repeat, man. NiP took these guys down 2-1 earlier on today.
Yeah, but it's time for vengeance for LGD, and they're out for blood. Their Asian brethren already took Ninjas in Pajamas down a notch, and it's time for them to show their full dominance over the EU region. Let's see if it's true and it's going to happen. For now, LGD already starting out strong with a Chen as the first pick. A hero that we haven't had the pleasure to cast, but has been quite prominent in this major so far.
Yeah, even post-nerf, we're seeing that Chen aura, the additional healing you get, be pretty nice. In the laning stage, just boost you up that little bit, but also stacking up with some nice little aura items as the game progresses. See what they get up to. Likely ex-Nova's hero, that Chen, as Ninjas in Pajamas responding now with the Pangolier. Yet another hero that we haven't seen too much of.
Yeah, that's very true. Pangolier is the first pick as well. That's another kind of hero that you would expect as a first pick material. And is it going to be a position 4 Pangolier as been played recently with Saksa on it?
Still very much could be open, right? It feels like a block pick as well. We know that FY loves his position 4 Pango, who's been playing that quite a fair amount over the past couple of months. I'm just wondering, is this an Abaddon for NiP? No, they switch things up, so they move away from their safety Abaddon pick into the Warlock for PPD instead.
Well, yeah, I think this is a pretty nice mix. If you do run these two guys as supports, you start off with a support that can easily trade hits with the other support, which is one of Pangolier's main strengths. Obviously, the Heart Piercer makes it so that essentially no other support can beat you in a 1v1 scenario, so you can roam around quite easily, have a good amount of physical damage, which Warlock unfortunately does not bring to the table. His damage is kind of mediocre. Also, the combination between these two guys is already quite nice. Counter Initiation by Warlock, area damage by Pangolier, which combines nicely with the Fatal Bonds. And on top of that, Pangolier has some pretty solid initiation. They both excel in relatively chaotic team fights because Fatal Bonds makes it so that any damage is great. LGD. It's a good start for NiP. Very solid.
Yeah, good amount of burst damage from Pango as well into those Fatal Bonds.
It's a very different draft though by LGD with a Chen and Rubik. Not something we have. I guess we haven't cast any Chinese teams. That's why we haven't seen these picks as often.
Yeah, I mean, they ran this against NiP in Game 2. Their draft opener was Chen Rubik against a Bristlecottle. It's one of FY's best heroes, and they've picked up their 2 supports early on, so they're keeping their core heroes or core matchups as hidden as possible heading into that latter stage of the draft. And removing some of the cheesy heroes along the way. Out goes the Ace Meepo.
Turn to ban.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you kind of have to get it right. Usually it's the last pick, but you don't want NiP to potentially stop you. And I think LGD also was not planning to get too much area damage. I do love the Rubik pick against the Warlock Pangolier, though, in general. It's so easy to steal that Rolling Thunder, obviously. And the Golem is also a relatively easy steal if you're well positioned with the Rubik, because all of Warlock's spells generally have relatively long cast points. Even the Fatal Bond, which is probably the shortest of them. So LGD starting, in my opinion, quite strong as well in the counter pick division. Their lane's not looking so hot though. I like Ninjas in Pajamas a bit more in the consistency department.
What's that? 5th ban going to be removed out the Storm, the Ember, the Lesh, the Sven. Picking on a lot of these Summoners heroes.
5 seconds
as well as a couple of Armee's pickups as well. We could look towards heroes like Centaur and Mars as a potential ban out here from NiP. Remove one of Chalice's signatures. But you've also got heroes like Sand King that are out there. And I feel like, honestly, when you look at a Chen and a Rubik together, you need that additional punching power, that teamfight capability from your offlaner, most certainly, because neither of these heroes goes in and does stuff. Similar to what we were talking about with TNC, both Rubik and Chen kind of fog heroes, right? They're map maneuverability heroes. Chen allows one of your cores to push out one of the side lanes, drags them across the map and gives you the numbers advantage, plays from the fog and pushes objectives with the creeps he picks up along the way. Rubik is always waiting, like you're saying, for this kind of counter initiation from the Warlock, so you've got the counter initiation. You need someone to go in, roll forward, get the action started. And that is usually Chalice's role.
I agree. It's a very good point. Both Rubik and Chen are also very dependent, right? Chen on his creeps and Rubik on whatever he can steal. And ooh, there's the hero we've been praising for a while, the 3/3 Bristleback. The NiP, one of their favorite picks recently, very much seen in the minor. Not going to be with the Abaddon they usually pair it with, but still a really strong pickup. I love watching a 3/3 Bristleback. I think he's probably one of the better Bristleback, or just in the team in general knows exactly how to play around this hero, and they play him in the off-lane position, not the carry, as we've seen other teams do.
For sure. I'm wondering, do we see the Viper come out now? A hero that has been utilized against the Bristle with the break from Nether Toxin. And the ability to kite around the Bristle with all of your slows. Viper has been a handy hero in the arsenal against Bristles. But then you're wondering, does maybe want to play Viper? You know, is maybe one of those guys that will allow his drafter just to give him Viper. We do know that NiP, they ran the Viper against the... LGD had a Bristleback in their previous series today. NiP defeated the LGD Bristle with a Viper of their own. So it should be fresh on the minds here of the Chinese squad of what they need to get done.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, you could run the Nyx, I guess, but then you would have to run the Nyx offlane, which is not the ideal thing. And the only other hero with Break, also pretty strong against the Bristleback. Quite decent against Warlock as well. But... like we mentioned, then you do lack that kind of tanky boy that just goes in and initiates. God, I'm starting to speak like you now. LGD.
Tanky boy.
They could go for the Legion Commander. That's another option. A classic counter to the Bristleback.
Axe.
Also, they love him. Yeah, Axe too. True.
Options there for that guy to go in for Chalice and deal with Bristle. We'll see what they head into. Lots of very deliberate, decisive drafting action happening. They're taking their time, both teams, in fact. We look back to the Naga ban that NiP pulled out, something that Arme plays spectacularly well, and a good teamfight reset tool, the Naga Siren Song, to get away from Chaotic Offering, to sort of disengage from a Bristle or a Pango, who are jumping down your throats for the majority of that mid-game. Centaur does a similar thing. Stampede to disengage, and now you need to look towards your re-engage potential. Heroes that can jump back into the teamfight once you've stampeded away from that Bristle and Pango.
He offers that, like you mentioned, that initiation potential, but also the frontline tanker that you were looking for. He's not a fog hero like Rubik and Chen that you mentioned. It's a hero that can go in and do stuff, and he's very, very good at that particularly. Also a pretty strong laner in the off chance that Chen wants to go and roam around with his creeps, which is important when you're playing with a Chen. Energies in Pajamas goes for this is actually a build they run a lot, the Bristleback Wraith King as the core duel, usually together with the Abaddon again, but doesn't matter, you don't really need that hero as much. Is the idea that you have a very dominant early to mid game. And interestingly enough, Wraith King is a hero, or Bristleback is a hero that actually peaks at level 25 now, as before he didn't used to have that. A level 25 talent, absurd at dealing damage. And you can run him as your carry as the game progresses, whereas Wraith King kind of becomes that free roll and becomes a bit more of an initiator, something that you definitely need later on. So, very good combination.
OD for LGD. That's going to be their Bristle handler. Nice bit of disengage as well with the Astral to get out of danger, but also racking up lots of int, not just off Bristle, but also Wraith King Pango. Reasonably tanky heroes, and giving a lot of bonus damage. And a great way to stack up that int for the multiplier on Sanity's Eclipse as well. You know, you're looking at 3 melee strength heroes here. Their int levels are reasonably low, so OD is going to be able to burst through large portions of their health. Final picks coming through. Final bans. AM for NiP. We're looking for a position 1 Arme hero as the final grab for LGD. And likely for NiP, we need to take ourselves towards that mid lane for Fata.
10 seconds remaining.
If I get no D, it's a difficult lane, to be honest. Very... Not that many heroes. Like, OD really closes your mid-picking pool. That's probably why they pick it not as or earlier, right? To make sure that Energies and Pajamas now have to think about what they're going to run mid. The Broodmother, a classic hero that to run against the OD nowadays because he doesn't do that so badly in lane. LGD with the last pick here, knowing the Wraith King. They banned the Naga.
No Naga, no Anti-Mage, no Sven. Arme's hero pool, what are we looking at?
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know, actually. You go for maybe a troll, I wouldn't mind too much. The blind pretty useful against Wraith King and Bristle. He's a decent laner as well.
Is Weaver good here? Minus armor's pretty nice. You've got the elusiveness and the lack of disables that NiP are showing. You know, they've got stuns, yes, but not really reliable ones to catch a Weaver, right? They've got Wraith King, Chaotic Offering. I guess that's it. Rolling Thunder, you throw that on top as well, but nothing massive there to catch some of these elusive heroes. Monkey King might be another option they look towards as well. We talked about this Slark earlier on, hey? Against Bat Riders was the context for the previous series, but here against the Bristle and the Wraith King, we're talking about tanky strength heroes. Slark, this is kind of his wheelhouse. This is where he is able to exploit the in-and-out team fight, the stampede, the disengage from the astral, the ability to drag heroes across the map with Chen.
10 seconds.
This is a decent Slark game, but NiP have last pick.
He's also a Silver Edge carry, which in this case is very important against the Bristleback.
It's Bloodseeker time.
An aim hero.
Give me Bloodseeker. Come on, NiP, let's do it.
Let's do a Bloodseeker pick. Mid-dog against Saudi? No, that's suicide. Please don't put Bloodseeker. What? When you see the Slark, it's kind of difficult, though. Because there's a lot of heroes that... The heroes that beat OD, like, for example, Lean or Quap, are not that great against Slark. And they don't even beat him by that much. They just have a range to deal with him. Maybe a Razor? Oh, right.
You may now select your heroes.
He can still jaunt while he's been leashed, which is pretty big. He has area damage with the Slark. I like the puck pick. And he's also a Fata staple. I mean, he used to be the best puck in the world back in the day.
Gives them some nuke damage as well. Gives them some team fight control. Silence is going to be important to deal with that Slark on top of it all. Wraith King, Bristle, Puck, Warlock, Pango. So Saxa will pick up the Pango for that position 4 slot.
Yeah, we were talking about this, right? If you're running the Bristle, it's not like you're going to run a Bristle 4. Or you could run a Puck support, I guess. That's been done before. I like this for both teams, actually. I think both teams have pretty solid lineups. The Slark, I gotta say, I know that it's a pretty good pickup here, but it just makes me doubt. It's like a Wii Ranger as well, right? I just don't think he's that good this meta, or just in general. They have a lot of area damage to deal with him as well, which is kind of annoying. And the Pango is one of the better heroes to deal with the Slark, because he can Dark Pact one of the stuns away, but you can just restun him.
Away we go. Deciding match, final series of the group stage, Group D. Winner of this goes up a bracket, loser drops down to lower. NiP did dispatch LGD earlier on in a best of 3, 2-1. And now they meet again. Chalice on the Centaur, FY God, my apologies, must add the suffix correctly to his name. FY God, it's like a PhD, you know? You have to make sure you say it. On the Rubik, signature hero for him for sure. X-Nova playing the Chen with a beautiful new set for TI9. OD going to be grabbed up by Somnus, maybe. Whatever you want to name him now, while Ame will be on the Slark up top. While NiP, nothing surprising really, 3-3 Bristle back. Saxa playing that Pango. Chalice is going to retaliate stacks, yeah. Also, maybe scouting for a ward, but Fata's here to play with the vision.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've seen that sometimes, but like that is running, especially towards the mid lane. I guess so you have more maneuverability, getting 4 vitality stacks out of that in case you have to fight early. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Also, you know, doing that vision scouting where you can utilize certain places on the map to spot out wards. If this ward is here, you know, the fog-wise, usually the Radiant can't see past here, but you can get hit by the tower still. X-Nova doing exactly that. He knows that he's getting hit by the tower, so he dewards. Perfect execution by X-Nova. Bounty runes, though. We need to come back to where the action's going to happen. Don't want T-Tours occurring. As NiP gather up both down south. 3-3 will take one of the loose ones top, so a 3-for-1. NiP get the slight advantage early on.
Not a good start for LGD. And now talking a bit about the laning stage, who do you think has the strongest lanes right now? Because I'm kind of looking at it, and the Slark just makes me think LGD is a bit screwed laning wise.
I'm not I mean, I think NiP do have the upper hand laning wise. I'm just not sure how things change once you get to kind of level 2, level 3, because bottom lane, Rubik and Centaur is going to be real annoying. But you have the Warlock for NiP to fall back on and kind of sustain and heal yourself. Mid lane, I've not seen this matchup in a while, so I'm not sure exactly which way or how far it swings, but it should be pretty much a farm trade for the most part. Astral helps you secure CS, Illusory Orb helps you secure CS, both of you kind of shove the wave back and forth. So it does come down to top lane, where Bristleback is going to be pressuring the Slark, and Chen is going to be following around Saxapango, who so far has managed to stack up a couple of waves. Messing with that creep equilibrium.
I'm in the middle lane matchup though. I think that Fat has a bit of potential to act aggressive, or sorry, here maybe has a bit of potential to act aggressively there, because he has a Chen rotation that could potentially stop the puck before it gets too many levels and too much mobility. The phase shift is easy to taunt out, honestly, with these heroes. He has to kind of play around with the Illusory Orb phase shift. There is some kill potential in this mid lane, especially because Fata might be looking to play a bit aggressively with that Illusory Orb. If he sees a chance, Waning Rift allows you to get some extra hits, and only getting stopped by a Astral Imprisonment is no big deal, really, if you're a puck. You can survive that damage easily, especially with a double Talisman build.
Centaur misses out on the stomp. Ace getting healed back up by the Warlock. Top lane, 3-3 going for that Nasal Goo at level 2. Really laying into Arme right now. 6 stick and a pounce will get him over the tree line, back to safety. Arme under his tier 1, still with a couple of creep waves coming his way, and this is the problem with the manipulation of the creep wave that Sax has been doing. It allows this long, deep dive, and maybe even a kill onto X-Nova. The jump forward with a swashbuckle and the continual addition of these nasal goos. 3-3, he's sticking it to the man, and they've taken him down. One final swipe of the big old club will find that X-Nova Chen.
This is the popular build now on a Bristleback. Back in the day when Bristleback used to be played off and it was the Quill Spray Bristleback maxing, but now you use it much more offensively with 1 point in Viscous Nasal Goo early. I'm pretty sure it's 3-3 start playing this way in the offlane position, not just in the carry role as well. And you essentially dominate your lane. Look at who's top in the last hit charts. It's 3-3. Here's what he tends to do. Go for an immediate bottle, have some more sustain, and now the lane becomes more difficult for aim, but he's stealing a fair amount of essence shift. However, in the middle lane, I think FY is looking for a kill here. Dialed there by Saxa. Okay, they have a telekinesis, but they can't catch Fat in time. He plays with the vision, and he gets away there. FY wasting his time.
FY so close to being able to grab that kill. Fata, though, salves up, and is perfectly safe. 3-3. No points in the Bristleback just yet. Second point in Quill Spray, so even more aggression towards the Slark. And Pango, he denied himself to Roshan. I didn't see what exactly happened there, but he will return top with some items for the Bristleback. And be able to refill that bottle super nicely.
Just try to get home. We've seen some players actually go back to the Nile against neutral of Roshan more often than before. It's interesting. With the new changes, obviously, to the tower denies, it's not so common to do that, and you still want to have impact in lane. Sometimes you don't want to feed your death, or you want to have the chance of getting a bit of gold, so instead, denial to creeps. Yeah, it takes a bit long to come back, but not enough.
Illusion.
FY and PPD having a bit of a dance in the jungle. I heard a Wraithfire blast. Seems that Ace is just trying to harass back Chalice a little bit. Things getting a little scrappy here for LGD. They've left Arme alone top. He's now in a 1v2 against 3-3 Bristle and Saxapango. So they're able to, again, just manipulate this creep wave, dive under the tower, force Arme away from a full creep wave, and even attempt to go for a kill. They will dispel the majority of the goose stacks off of himself, but now with Pounce on cooldown for 15, he needs the help of X-Nova. Arriving, but doesn't get the clap in time. 3-3 turns, looks for Arme, and this might be a kill on the Slark, in fact. 21 charges up his sleeve, but he didn't use his one, so he dies as easily as that.
He was not calculating the Bristleback, right? The passive specifically. It triggered 2 quick Quill Sprays in rapid succession. At the bottom lane, I'm seeing there's a bit of a chase against Ace, but I'm not going to turn into anything. So again, Bristleback just dominating any melee carry, and Slark not particularly one of the best at winning this lane, honestly, because he does it the Dark Pact to dispel Nasal Goo, that's fine, but it does not dispel the Quill Spray stacks, and that makes it so it's very, very difficult to get away from 3-3. You also have to charge it. It's quite an obvious charge now with the Immortal, which makes it so that 3-3 can just play around it, not Nasal Glue you for a couple seconds. And this is before 3-3 gets Warpath, which is the damage source mainly. But rotation by PSG LGD, X-Nova and FY here waiting for a potential misplay by the Bristleback. Kill's difficult, but they're gonna try anyway. And they might just gab it. They have the double stomp there. They're gonna kill 4-3-3. Saxa unable to help his teammates, going right into the trees. 10 more seconds before that swashbuckle is active again. They have no stomp this time though, unfortunately. Thunderclap ready in 1 more second. Saxa about to get that swashbuckle, but doesn't get it off in time. And it's X-Nova who kills him with a Thunderclap.
A double kill for X-Nova. So good rotation in there. Rubik and Chen complementing each other beautifully. Nice couple of creeps as well for X-Nova, has to be said. The Centaur and the Hellbear, giving them the stomp, the stunt, and of course the clap down, along with that swiftness aura. Looking decent for Arme to secure this early laning stage. Has had a bit of a rough time the first 4-5 minutes, so they do need to consolidate power and trying to alleviate some of the pressure, looking for a kill onto 3-3 again. Arme moves in with a pounce, the follow through with the 2 supports here. Will chase 3-3 into the trees. They've got enough damage to finish him off, though. He's bottling up. He's got a salve in his backpack, and he is traipsing through the jungle. Not a care in the world. He'll come back full HP, and maybe even dive the tower for X-Nova. Chen is low. 3-3 wants to kill the creeps. 1 more Quill Spray will take down the Hellbear, but he changes tactic. Moves on to FY instead now. Lift up, drag back. Send 3-3 packing as the pounce misses. Arme doesn't grab or latch onto Saxa. And that will bring things to a close up top lane. Things quieten down a little bit, but you can feel how much LGD are really focusing on that Slark as the 5-minute bounty rune just gets picked up by Fata. That's 4, by the way. 4 of the 4 runes at 5 minutes grabbed by NiP.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Those double stomping creeps have made quite a difference for LG in this top lane, but you mentioned they kind of got the patterns going now. They're going to catch Fata, stomp him down. Is the damage good enough? Fata, Fuzzy Loser Hope can't get it off in time, though. Has to face shift defensively too early. Now they go for 3-3, and they even get the OD to join in the fray. 3-3, again in the trees. His favorite spot this map, apparently. But oh no, they can't kill him, actually. He manages to juke them away very nicely, even gets the creeps in the process. They get a nice Astral Imprisonment, and now with a pound, Ame ready to go, and 3-3 will go down here. Again, LGD with some good rotation to secure this lane top. They acknowledged the problem, and they fixed it.
Man, such good understanding of what the Bristleback does there. I was just taking a look at the stacks of the Quill Sprays being built up. OD stood away, took an actual step away from the fight just to make sure that it went down from 6 stacks down to 5, down to 4, because a couple more could most certainly have killed off a number of heroes in that top lane. And they do bring down 3-3. Pressure this Bristleback real nicely. 9 minutes in almost now. Net worth-wise, pretty even. There's like a 1k lead, if that, for NiP. Wraith King making up the majority of that lead as he has been completely free farming. Down bottom lane, heading into that Hand of Midas after the phase boots. So LGD kind of just leaving Ace to his own devices, leaving PPD down here. Chalice seems reasonably happy, just swinging into the Vanguard, into the phase boots. LGD making action happen elsewhere on the map. Safeguarding this Slark.
That's all their role is, to be honest. Slark, you know that. It's a weak laner. That's one of the reasons why he stopped getting picked in this meta. One of the many reasons. But if you manage to secure his lane to some degree, the Shadowblade timing in this game is quite important, actually. Because not only do you want to get quick pickoffs on heroes like Warlock, which are relatively easy to pick off, but also get the early Silver Age to stop this Bristleback from snowballing too early. So securing the Slark's farm definitely has been a priority, and I'm glad they've been doing it until now. With LGD, they also need to have other lanes. In the bottom lane, for example, Chalice being harassed out of lane completely.
Yeah. Chased back by the Skellies, the Fatal Bonds. Had a bit of a go on him by Ace. Wraith King gave him a bit of a slapping. I'm wondering, Slark, you mentioned the Shadowblade timing, and I think I agree. I had a wonder in my head, like, does he go Midas? Is that a consideration? But I think the kind of treads, Wraithband into that quick Shadow Blade, and then Echo Saber, and then back into Silver Edge. I think that kind of progression is going to be much more natural for the Slark to play around this OD, to play with the Chen, with the Rubik and Centaur, and not just be the AFK farmer out on the map.
He's gonna go for the Midas build though, just to. I think that's actually, this helps the kind of style, to be honest, of not being an AFK farmer, because you get a time to, or you get free farm between your assaults. I don't think Gama's actually gonna fight 3-3. No. Oh, but with the supports, he might be able to actually. In comes the Rubik, the help of the Chen, and now he brings 3 clappers. And actually, it's the whole team ready to assault 3-3. He was not expecting this. Am is forced to use the Shadow Dancers to get a bit of extra healing to survive the Quill Spray damage. He'll just die to the Astral Imprisonment. It's clear that maybe wanted that kill.
He absolutely did. Yeah, when you look at the Slark kind of going toe-to-toe, you know, poking, prodding, realizing he can't fight the Bristleback, then Chen swings in with some tomatoes and some heavy hitters. The Centaurs, the Conquerors, arriving right on time. Now looking in towards mid lane. Fata here defending tier 1. Rubik doing the same job, just making sure to kind of ping-pong this mid lane wave for wave back and forth, so you don't take too much damage on your objectives. No concerted effort from any of these sides, though, to go for a tier 1 just yet. They're all very content farming their Hands of Midas, farming into the Radiance on that Wraith King, as pressure will finally come his way. 4-7-8. He has 8 skill points used, 1 in reserve for that reincarnation, as we see all the best players do. Hold the point and make sure you've got it for when you need it. Ace might consider it here with the ability for NiP to TP to save him. He's going to level up Reincarnation, and here we go. Purple TP, blue TP, everyone TP. Fata's in with the Dream Coil on 2. The Waiting Rift's good, and so is the Swashbuckle. Ace is still alive, and the Dream Coil's holding him in place with a Fatal Bonds and Rock Drop. This Rolling Thunder is cruising through LGD. X-Nova in the back being chased out by Saxa. Fata won't find anyone to the east, and FY, the rolling green cube, bails away from danger, and X-Nova barely surviving. With Arme joining the fight a little too late, he's got in 1 versus 4 and fed. NiP absolutely crushing victory, the sick response off the back of that reincarnation play by Ace.
That was a bit of a misplay by NiP, especially by Arme there at the end. Like he comes in later without a Shadow Blade or anything really to continue the team fight, which is something Slark definitely needs before he starts fighting. He comes in way too late, starts to 1v5 like you mentioned, and even out of position. Way too confident in his abilities as a Slark. Though, on the other hand, NiP plays that amazingly. Not only with the counter initiation by the Warlock, which was pristine, stopped LGD's advance completely, but also by a Rolling Thunder, like much like you said, absolutely stopped LGD's retreat there. And they guaranteed 2 kills thanks to that Rolling Thunder. It was fantastic. Good job there, Saxa. Showing the impact of the support tango. No items, still incredibly impactful. LGD needs to rethink these engagements. You need the item timings on Slark specifically, and even on OD to some degree. Either blink or force step, whatever you're going for. You need that mobility before you start engaging. You just can't fight against NiP right now because they have a lot more team fight that's not item dependent. Even the puck is not particularly item dependent right now with the new way that you kind of play him. He has a lot of mobility regardless. He now went for the first item blink. So Fata will have that item regardless. It's a tall order for LGD. They have to be careful with these kind of crazy crazy engagements under the tier 1.
And that entire fight was without the Bristleback. 3-3 was just completely free farming top. 5,500 net worth on the Bristleback now. Drums and FaZe heading into Halberd. Very, very good item against the OD and the Slark, who are heavily reliant on those right-click punches to actually deal their damage in team fights. LGD looking for the tier 1 bottom. NiP already having that top lane tier 1 down makes sure that they can trade objectives much more effectively. The mid tier 1 going to go down. It looks like they'll catch Saxa here with a pounce from Arme. No continuation though, as Fata has found an additional target. It is FY dropping. Rubik had that Rolling Thunder still, but doesn't get it off in time. NiP very swiftly moving from lane to lane as well. This haste rune on the puck obviously helping out. Courier delivering some obs wards over to the Chen. Fata's looking for the Courier. It looks like they might be able to snipe it, but it's going to be the attempted kill on the Chen. That means so much more to them. And maybe is waiting in the wings off to the east. X-Nova dodging side to side, but it will not keep him alive.
Okay. Another good play there by NiP. PSG, losing the Chen there is actually quite major. He's supposed to have an impact right now. I guess they didn't catch all his creeps. The Dark Troll Summoner is still alive, but LGD's time frame in which this Chen is impactful is relatively early, and they're not taking too much advantage of that.
Nice
They're
grab.
gonna catch Fata though.
They have the waiting rift. Oh, the blink!
Oh.
Oh, Fata. No way. You're not allowed to survive these.
He even has the Stia as he goes away. So happy.
See ya.
Well, nah, it's higher. You gotta go higher, Gareth. You're too manly for this hero.
Okay, I'm sorry. 16-minute Hand of Midas on your Slark. Not ideal for Arme, unfortunately. Looking at the Wraith King, you know, phase Midas, 3,300 save. That Radiance is coming, and it's coming fast. Arme still needs plenty of time. This bulldozer lineup of NiP, it begins now. If you thought the laning phase was hard, if you thought the past 5 minutes and the teamfight bottom was hard, LGD, you have got another thing coming. NiP are ready and raring to go. They're going to pressure Arme out of lane. Difficult kill to grab here with, again, the limited lockdown that they have. Connecting onto a Slark, not the best target. Maybe they could look for the Chen in the mid lane instead. Fata is eyeing it up. The blink. Waiting Rift and Coil. Chain it up with the Wraithfire Blast. Look for the snap onto X-Nova for Saxa to secure the kill. Now objective time. Kill into conversion. Go and take a tower.
I kind of ignored them there, if you notice. They were not even concerned too much with the Chen, and this is reaching the point of Chen uselessness that you usually see around this point of the game, where you kind of need the utility items or else you don't really do much, unfortunately. And there's just not much you can do. It's just how the hero works. You should have had an impact a bit earlier, and you couldn't. NiP now starting to dominate, taking this tower in the middle lane. That opens up the map for them, allows them to scout much more. You already have offensive wards over here by NiP, ensuring that the enemy team has no safe place to farm. I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same with the enemy triangle of that, or farming triangle, sorry.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And we're gonna get a Heaven's Halberd soon on the Bristleback, which will make teamfights even harder for LGD, because most of your damage right now is located on this OD. They need some on the Slark. And you know, look at this. Slark is not even going for the mobility item, going straight for the PKB. The build we've been seeing a lot that you say Liquid runs a lot as well. Screw the mobility. No shadow play needed.
Midas into BKB, and it often comes in these positions where you are slightly behind, you know that your opponents are hitting their timings, and you need something to kind of disturb the enemy timings. Winning a team fight through a BKB usage is one of the best ways. You think about the big items in Dota that swing a game or swing a fight. You've got your Sides of Vice, you've got your BKBs, you've got your Dagons, you've got your Refresher Orbs. These are the items which allow you to turn the tides. It is one of the swing items that you desperately need here as LGD. Sure, you have the Blink Centaur, the Blink OD, but you don't have staying power. You don't have that sustained damage, which you desperately need against a Bristleback, because you can jump in and blow up the Warlock and the Puck all you want, but if you cannot deal with Bristle with your Slark, you are in for trouble as LGD.
And there's just not many pickups that you can get if you go for one of the two mobility items. Yes, Warlock isn't relatively easy to kill, but he has some healing, and he has Golem in case there's enemies or there's teammates nearby. There's no way you're killing the Wraithing. Similarly with the Pango, who can actually shield crash away from you. Kind of annoying. The Bristleback definitely unkillable, and Puck also has a lot of ways to get away. So LGD doesn't have a way to use the Slark properly, and instead he has to use him in kind of a team fight potential, which is ideal once the Slark gets enough items to actually, as you mentioned, have the staying power in the team fight. But for now, an early BKB is just the best option to withstand all of NiP's damage. And the Radiance completed now an ace, he just needs to buy it as well. And this is a swing item as well. These can really turn team fights, especially that miss chance is absolutely massive.
Dire's middle tower is under
Slark
attack.
pouncing away from NiP, who have grouped up pretty heavily top. Chalice even going to TP back towards mid as well. Did he cancel that himself? Looks like he did. Sticking around on this high ground, 3-3. Wanders forward, sees the Chen army. They don't quite know where Chalice or X-Nova are themselves. This is prime time now for NiP, though. They've got the Radiance Wraith King. PPD has his Hand of Midas. It is massive right now. Need to get usage out of that.
For the treasure.
Turn a creep into gold. There we go.
Yeah, it's time now. We saw Kaya now on the OT as well, so a bit of damage for him, which is important. With his bristle, it's the Roshan time, and can LGD contest this? Honestly, I mean, you're playing against a Rolling Thunder in the pit, which is super strong.
I was meant to have this.
I don't know. It looks like they're definitely not. I'm wondering if they actually could. Even if they blink Centaur Stomp and Santi's Eclipse, they very likely still struggle to deal with the Bristleback.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Plenty of TPs down bottom. Nice little micro there with the Centaur to make sure one of them would be stomped if they wanted to continue charging forward. LGD playing the waiting game. This BKB now picked up on Slark. It feels like he needs to go fight, but he still needs to go and farm. He needs to hit more creeps. So it still is just waiting for that perfect moment to use the BKB. If NiP come to you, then yes, you'll have to pop it and try and TP away. Since there's only one way to cancel it right now with a Chaotic Offering from Warlock to cancel a BKB TP. It has to be said, though, LGD doing an exceptional job keeping this bottom lane pushed out, so NiP have basically stationed Fata down here for the past 10 minutes. Like, the puck has been sat on this tier 2, just clearing out waves, making sure the objective isn't easy for LGD to take.
That's why you go for the early travels, though. That's the power of early travels on puck. He has this amazing lane shoving power, and you take advantage of it by having also a good amount of mobility, so you can constantly spam your illusory orbs on this lane. We're seeing that this push is going to start again, but this time we're going to have to face the same push of NiP in the top lane. And it'll be at least a trade of tier 2 for tier 2. There's no way LGD can TP in time to defend this. While NiP go further, LGD certainly seems determined to do so. Finally, LGD decides to TP back home, acknowledging that NiP have no chill. They're going to continue onwards to this tier 3, or at least force a team fight near this area with a high ground advantage.
They've got that Aegis on the Bristleback, so I was fully expecting the high ground to be breached. They do, like you say, force the TPs back. And NiP, their primary goal right now seems to be map control. Shove out that bottom lane as far as they can with Fata. Take control of the mid lane from X-Nova. And try and limit how much farming space Arme has right now, because you see this OD and the Slark. These are the two carries, the two core heroes of LGD. Centaur is getting got on top. Fatal Bonds on him makes things a little awkward as 5 heroes from NiP surround him and slaughter him. Chalice gone with buyback available. Will respawn in 40 seconds. We might need to pop that buyback, honestly, because the onslaught it is coming. X-Nova TP's out, but it is cancelled yet again by this Fata puck, catching an additional kill. Collateral damage in the mid lane as X-Nova is brought to his knees.
And that's going to be X-Nova lost. Not a big loss for LGD, but a kill nonetheless for NiP. As they continue to shove these middle and top lane, hoping to aim for those tier 3s soon-ish. But the Warlock that also went for Myas, by the way, should be noted. So we're going to have a bit of impact by PPD eventually this game. And it's not like LGD has much... They don't have really much option to initiate here or to just do anything. They're just at the mercy right now of NiP either making a mistake or NiP being out of position. So that LGD can actually punish this. They don't have the initiation currently. With a Slark just desperately trying to farm some useful items like a Shadow Blade.
They are doing a really good job, LGD, though, of kind of weathering the storm here. You know, NiP are strong right now. They're trying to use this Aegis to push and breach high ground. Like you're saying, just exploiting the weakness of LGD right now. But the fact that Slark is able to play the map and get farm from bottom lane, the double camp that he's got access to, mid lane, top lane, both being defended really nicely here by LGD as they smoke and they move out of their base. 3-3 in the perfect position to catch the smoke and stop the advance of LGD. Will spot them on their way through. X-Nova still smoked up. Chalice and maybe going to take out that mid lane wave. One of them's going to TP back. Bottom lane, hey, oh, what's happened over to the east side? Fata's there with a coil and a waning rift, but they've already taken the first life of Ace. Quick little rolling thunder in from Saxa will connect with a couple of heroes, but the BKB of Slog is doing work. Centaur Stampede finally utilized as the rock dropped over to the left. Oh, it's a BKB for Maybe, and he's going wild. Ace is one hit away from death. The mech keeps him up and running, and he blinks away. No way he's survived that. Challenge for the reinitiation. Blink stomp onto 2. They've got the chain stomp from FY, connecting onto this Aegis Bristle. On the high ground he'll go as LGD sweep through NiP. 3-3 is stuck with nowhere to hide. Pounced upon by Arme Slark. He'll lose both lives here on top of the cliff top. Role playing is Arteezy. Careful of those spikes.
Hey, you might kill yourself, Ame, there. Careful. They're giving the kill to Ame, but they kind of acknowledge, yeah, he's going to fight back here. Thank God they had the damage there to finish him off, because Ame could have been in trouble there. 9 close play tracks is not a joke. There, I think the big thing was definitely the BKB on Slark. We said that could turn a team fight, and that was just massive, stopping the Rolling Thunder damage and also the Waning Rift on the Slark. Definitely turn the team fight around for them. That and the BKB on the OD as well. Major item choices here.
And they couldn't do anything to the Slark. He BKBs, he walks in, he walks out. He basically cuts that fight 3 ways as he zones the Pango to the northeast. The Wraith King has to jump around south and then southeast.
Middle tower is under attack.
NiP spread, scattered to the wind. Even Fatter's Puck was kind of tentative about rejoining that team fight. Ended up just pushing out the mid lane wave as LGD take the game by the horns. 10-9 now with net worth advantage going the way of LGD. 26.5 minutes into this game. NiP not able to push the issue hard enough. And they've also got a set up top. LGD have a set up top. They move on to Saxa. Quick little Rolling Thunder to get him out. Maybe, and X-Nova do have the ability to maybe bring that Centaur or bring that Slark into the fray if need be. And this is that macro maneuverability, the global map presence of a Chen.
Yeah, LGD tried to look for that last pickoff on. And they can't. Sorry, it was NiP trying to look for the last pickoff. They can't find it because, like you mentioned, the global presence, some utility on the Chen as well. You have the Garnet Gears being built on X-Nova, which means that you have utility again as a hero. You're also able to have some downtime, which is actually massive for a Chen, because this means you get to build your zoo again. Something that if they're constantly attacking you and closing your map, you can't do. And Slark has a Shadow Blade, he's ready to attack people. So, ooh, that's Shield Crash and knocking him off the pounce, which means now there's a chance to kill him. Ame gets the kill. That's 6 stacks of agility now. With another attempt now at the Warlock, slowed by that Echo Saber. The damage not sufficient to finish on PPD. Instead, he takes the switch with Fata. Silences up Ame, but Fata's only starting to annoy him as LGD continue on the hunt for some quick kills.
Experience-wise, there is a massive gap being created. Oh, Ame, he wants to go in on Ace. They've got a Telekinesis to control him up with a Wraithfire Blast, and maybe the Reincarnation, yes, will be popped. First life down as they now re-engage. In onto Ame, but he's popped. The Shadow Dance, he tries to walk it off. The coil on top will keep him trapped in the midst of them all, and the rock is dropped onto LGD, but they've got the mechs. Sustain them up, heal and fall back. Astral to save, and by some time it resets the fight. We do move forward with a hand of God from LGD, keeping everyone nice and toasty and warm and comfortable. NiP struggling to really latch onto a target and find anybody to kill here. Real strong disengage by LGD.
And LGD might want to re-engage now with Ame looking for a potential kill here. Any of the Scragglers, potentially the Warlock. PPD no longer has the Golem to counter-initiate. They stopped the Golem, but their objective is not that, but rather a simple support, or perhaps a Wraith King, as Ame goes on forward. He just wants the agility right now. He just doesn't care who he kills. Just anyone will do. Ame, you can see the bloodthirst in his eyes. The pound's just barely in range of the swashbuckling Pangolier. They pounce him in time. Can't get the Rolling Thunder off. And Saxa, what are you going to do now as Ame continues to just fade him in? Slicing and dicing him, second pounce. This time it won't hit in time. So Saxa is able to Rolling Thunder himself to safety. Very close again, though, by Ame.
LGD are spread out across the map, though. PPD is being gone on by Maybe, saved by Ace with the Wraithfire Blast. But there we have the Santi's Eclipse. He just drops the hammer on him. Chalice did get Saxa deep in behind the tier 1 top. Chen and Centaur set up for the backstab.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
LGD getting that tier 1, potentially a tier 2 as well. What is NiP gonna do? Can they defend this out of the Warlock and your Pangolier, your main team fight on the supports? Seems like they find X-Nova first, but Ame behind them. They go for X-Nova. They activate the BKBs, but Ame has some of that as well. For now, they haven't halbered him instead of stopping the OD because he activated his BKB too early. And in the end, they're just gonna run away, it seems, and I think they want to re-engage now. The orb was just gonna push him outwards. LGD considered that team fight, but after forcing the BKB on Racing, they were quite satisfied.
Slark BKB up now. That halberd, like you say, went straight on him. No messing around from 3-3. Immediate halberd onto Slark whenever he sees him. It's going to become a difficult job for PPD now. You can see he's got 3 sentries, a couple of observer wards banked up to try and spot the Slark's entry points as they make a play onto Ame now with the quick little swashbuckle in. Dream Coil, but BKB's forced. An eye for an eye. A BKB charge for a BKB charge. NiP do manage to deter LGD from any further aggression, but you can feel the net starting to close. These little fishies, NiP, being trapped, looking for these holes in the net to try and slip on through, catch a kill here, convert it into some kind of push or Roshan take, which honestly has to be the next big thing. This second Roshan for both teams has to have a fight around it.
Yeah, you have one team which carries around a bristleback, so obviously they have an easy time taking down the Roshan. LGD perhaps not as easy, but LGD have a good Roshan pit fight as well. The Sanity's Eclipse is no joke in its own space. They had a Hex on this OD, by the way, which prioritized that over the Yasha and Kaya, now finally finishing that item. And getting a Hex here is super important, stopping a potential Pango initiation, or even just ignoring the Wraithing for a couple seconds. Sometimes just hexing is better than actually having to kill him and forcing that reincarnation. We have a Basher as well coming out on the Slark. That's huge for Ame as he now has a way to stop the Bristleback himself. I'm probably going to start working on that Silver Edge build-up so they can completely stop 3-3.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Do they even
like
find FY? He's so speedy. He's got a blinky dagger.
They have a swashbuckle if they want to play aggressively, but then they're going to find also X-Nova. Maybe they're going for 2. Or they're going to keep it to the shrine. FY certainly die. Oh, maybe not. Look at FY go with the swashbuckle. They catch him, but he's creating enough time. Now the Hand of God heal as well. FY is just annoying them for now. FY continues to live. He actually can get away with the swashbuckle. And the team fight starts, and FY is not dead. There's the golem dropped. As Stark continues to fight with his newly acquired Basher. Ame is ready to go. BKB has just been dropped though, and he can't use it any further. He has to get away with that Shadow Blade. Finally, FY dies together with his partner support, which means LGD will lose that team fight, even if ever so slightly, only losing 2 supports.
Look at this repositioning from LGD. They do lose the 2 supports as NiP drop the kitchen sink onto LGD's heads. Pretty much everything apart from Reincarnation bust out there for the big team fight. FY outplaying them though, as we expect. His Rubik is exceptional. His Pango we've seen is exceptional. So his Rubik stealing the swashbuckle of Sax's Pango, of course. Beautiful stuff. Ame's made a play. Does jump in onto this poor little puck, and Fata will drop. Just like that, LGD, because they were able to set up for this aggressive maneuver down the mid lane after losing 2 heroes, that kind of forward thinking gets them a kill on Fata.
Exactly, and that kill on Fata now sets up for more kills here. Like, potentially the kill, or perhaps not, because they actually just forced the buyback from Fata. Fata's like, you thought I was dead? It was just a bait to catch you in a bad position, and now Chalice could be in trouble. Ame joins in, and that Basher's doing work. He's got the Shadow Lance ready, so he can still re-engage if needed be. As the reincarnation triggered, Ame goes forward, misses the pounce. It's okay, now they're fighting against Chalice, who's just taking the brunt of the damage that Ame takes out after the supports. It seems like Chalice will be the first to die here. And Ame does find the kill on PPD at the very least. He's behind enemy lines. He's been disarmed. He's forced to use the Shadow Blade to spell some dust on him. They deal a fair amount of damage, but he can still get away. They know there's a sentry around here because Ame obviously does not have his Shadow Dance.
They still have this Blink, Scythe of Ice, Sanity's Eclipse on maybe though. And you can see LGD, as soon as the BKBs came out from NiP, they retreated completely. Ace pops one, 3-3 pops one. They're like, right, okay, we retreat. Our OD can't do damage. Our Slark is backstabbing and killing your Warlock. We'll lose the Centaur here, no big deal. We're getting these nice little stacks of Arcane Orb and Essence Shift damage and stats for our core heroes. Why not just retreat? We've got to defend top lane. We've got to fight around that Roshan pit next. And now we know Chaotic Offering still down for 30 seconds. This is a little bit of a window that LGD could use to find some pickoffs. Ame and will jump and immediately bash Saxa. Of course he does. Shield crash to the low ground and away he goes. Saxa says goodbye, waving on his way to Shrine.
This is exactly what I was talking about earlier, by the way. We can get out of the pounce the shield crash. He hasn't been able to do it until now, but it's definitely possible. It's not difficult to do. So good thing now that Saxa is not as killable. He's managed to get away from Ame. Those lucky bashes still screwing him over a bit, but it's fine. Ame, though, even without that kill, he has enough to build that Silver Edge if he wants to. It is minute 35, so you might start considering staying for buyback, but Pango finally finishes up the Maelstrom. Like, hey guys, I have damage now.
Buybacks? No. OD, Slark, Rubik, Pango, Chen. The only ones with money for buyback right now. Net worth wise, we are looking at a 6k advantage for LGD. Big items already in the hands of the OD. Yashakaya done. Moving into a Shiver's Guard next. Slark must be near Abyssal Blade. Silver Edge is finished off. Will be delivered.
Yeah, Silver Edge first.
Silver Edge first, so Abyssal Blade next, likely. And like you said, a buyback wouldn't go amiss either. Ninjas in Pajamas, they're again struggling with this bottom lane perpetually at their tier 3. So Puck has to keep coming back, address the issue, defend it, shove it out a couple of waves, and then make the play back towards Shrine and towards Roshan. With Roshan half HP and LGD in the vicinity smoking up now, this is the game-defining team fight. This is going to set the tempo of the rest of the match. Roshan very nearly dead. Ame takes out a sentry. Observer's gone, but Roshan is defeated. Aegis grabbed by 3-3 and LGD feeling like this is not a fight they want to take any longer. Ame still in the shadows, lurking with that Silver Edge, aiming for a target which is going to be PPD. Warlock quickly grabbed up by Ame, but he turns to fight with a Sanity Clip drop. This maybe OD is absolutely hammering them. 3-3's nearly dead. They've killed off the Puck. Warlock's gone. And Chalice! Oh, you glorious, glorious Centaur. The two-man stun set up for a breaking beatdown onto NiP. Ace with a BKB, he'll turn, he'll fight, he'll stand his ground, but he'll lose it all in the process. LGD slaughter them.
LGD there, as you mentioned, the glorious stomp by a Centaur, also very good Sandy's Eclipse. The targeting there by PSG LGD was absolutely fantastic, honestly. They separated the team fight properly. They killed the Warlock before he could have an impact because the Spark just went straight for him. That's been Ame's job until now, just destroy PBD. While Chalice takes some of the damage, but still manages to have the team fight potential there. Now they're going for another kill, as Pangolier will die here. Ame going for 3-3 now, breaking. There's no more damage reduction, which means 3-3 will also die. That's 4 deaths for them, 3 of which, don't have buyback. LGD know this, they're going straight for the tier 4s. It's only a Warlock and his Golems, and potentially 3-3 in his Bristleback. Are they even going to commit the buyback? Do they not trust LGD to push fast enough? They use the Cliff first, but LGD, they know no chill. They have the Axe done on Rubik, and there's the Bristleback finally coming back. Rubik annoying them. He knows he can. They go and want to force the buyback on the Bristleback. They almost got it. They get 3-3 a second time as they steal the Golem right in the face of PPD. Meaning this game is near over. LGD just needs to finish off his ancient GG is called. They will get their revenge at least in the first game of the series, beating NiP and setting the lead for this best of 3.
Ame diving fountain there for an additional bonus kill as well. LGD with the comeback. They weathered the storm. They knew NiP's tempo was fast in the first 20 minutes. They split pushed. They shoved out that bot wave. They defended Roshan with everything they had. But the team fights they took, the initiations from Chalice, the maneuverability from Ame, and maybe on the Slark and the OD, really did outshine Ace, Fata, 3-3, who all seemed very static in these team fights, unable to maneuver themselves around away from Slark just because of the way that LGD were entering and initiating into those battles. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff from PSG LGD.
Yep, and now I'm excited for game number 2, where NiP against the ropes have to showcase their best dota they got if they don't want to go to those losers brackets.
We'll take a quick break. Game 2 in this best of 3 coming up. We'll run some ads, we'll play some music, and we'll let Twitch chat calm down a little bit. See you guys in 5 minutes or so.